evening, everyone, and welcome to Check It Out, the library talk show that lets you know what's going on in and around the Bethel Park Public Library. We're your hosts, Elaine Volpe
and Christine McIntosh, and we'll start today with what's going on in the Adult Services Department. If you haven't already registered, signed up for Summer Reading Club, there's still time to do so. The Adult Summer Reading Club runs through August 8th, so you can register in person or online. For each item that you read or listen to, you can submit an entry into a weekly random drawing for a $25 gift card. And then the grand prize drawing, of course, is for that drone that we've talked about several times now. A couple other programs of interest, PowerPoint Online. Rob will be teaching PowerPoint Online on Tuesday, July 14th at 10 a.m. You can learn the basics of this presentation software. This is an OASIS Connections course, which is geared to those 50 and older. Each participant is provided with a student handbook to use in class, and then you can take it home afterwards. We do ask that you register. On Tuesday, July 16th at 2 p.m., Rob will be teaching a Google Drive class. Learn how to create and use your own free cloud with Google. He'll cover setting up an account, how to store your files, and how to use Google Docs. And I keep saying that I want to go to this because I really could use a refresher on Google Docs. So,
Same.
Our Conversation Salon is becoming more popular, and now they are meeting twice a month. So the Conversation Salon will meet Friday, July 18th, and again Friday, August 7th at 10 a.m. And this is for those seeking a refreshing change from just kind of sitting on the couch, uninspired television programming, or surfing the web. You can come and find like-minded individuals at this Conversation Salon. The group seeks the satisfaction of face-to-face conversation to talk about topics that are relevant and enlightening. So if you're interested, we would like to see you come out. On Friday, July 24th from 10 a.m. until noon, the YWCA will be at the library to help you apply for health insurance coverage through the marketplace. People are still having some difficulty and not understanding what's going on. So the YWCA is coming to the library. That again is Friday, July 24th from 10 a.m. until noon. We ask that you please call the library to make an appointment or call 211. That will also get you set up with an appointment. Ed will be hosting his monthly Books to Movie Club on Tuesday, August 4th at 7 p.m. The book/movie they're discussing is Cocaine Blues, written by Carrie Greenwood in 1989, and then was adapted for a TV series, Miss Fisher's Murder Mystery, Season 1, Episode 1, that was directed by Tony Tilsey in 2012. This is a great club that Ed came up with because there are so many books that are being made into,
and that's true. The children's titles and the young adult titles as well.
Especially, yes. Yeah. And believe it or not, the fall session of Wise Walk will be kicking off on Thursday, August 27th at 10 a.m. This first meeting, it's the kickoff meeting, will take place at the library. And as you've probably heard 100 times, the Wise Walk is a 10-week walking program geared towards those 50 and older. Participants are provided with a pedometer, walking guides, healthy snacks. This is a popular program. Carla runs this for the library. I know that the Wise Walkers are meeting over the summer because we finished the spring session. We don't do it in the summer, but they're getting together on their own. Some of them are getting together on their own to continue
walking the indoor track with the weather we've had lately. They can't be walking in this kind of weather.
Yes. So come on out, make new friends, enjoy the beautiful fall weather in South Park with our library walking group. Summer's typically pretty slow as far as programming goes, although the library is incredibly busy. But anytime throughout the year, you can get a one-on-one technology appointment with Ed. So if you have a question about a particular software program like Word or Excel, PowerPoint, or if you say, hey, I got this new e-reader and I don't know how to use it, I'm bringing my mom in. I keep saying I'm bringing my mom in. It drives me nuts that she buys ebooks from Amazon when we have, you know,
Oh, that would drive me nuts
80,000
too.
some items available for free. But she's right. I haven't sat down to teach her because we fight.
Needs that one-on-one tutorial.
Yes. So I need to bring her in to see Ed. But he is, he'll, just about anything. I don't think there's anything that he doesn't know how to do technology-wise. Very patient. There are handouts so you can take stuff home to practice. So you just have to call the library and tell them you want an appointment with Ed, and they will take care of you. Also, fundraising. I feel like that's all I ever talk about. But this year, 2015, is Bethel Bakery's 60th birthday, as well as the library's.
Yay.
So now through the end of August, if you go to Bethel Bakery and purchase, they have a half-dipped strawberry shortbread cookie. So for each cookie that you purchase, the proceeds will be divided between 3 organizations: the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, the Bethel Park Public Library, and the Bethel Park Community Foundation. So I highly encourage you to go to Bethel Bakery and buy these special cookies. They are 46 cents each, or $5.50 for a dozen. If you don't know what to do with a dozen cookies, you can always bring them to the library. The staff is very happy to
This is true.
to accept baked goods as gifts, or just, you know, hey, we're supporting the library, but we're going to share it with you. We're always happy to eat our cookies. That a lot of people do that. They bring stuff in,
and they go quickly.
Yeah, it's like vultures. It's like vultures. So again, so we're both celebrating our 60th anniversary or birthday. And Elaine, do you want to tell us a little preview about the library's birthday celebration?
Because when you first told me about this, a couple months ago, and
Yeah,
it was kind of
it was cold. It was still cold.
It was still cold. I got so excited because this is a fun thing for us to plan on our end too. Not that it's going to be all geared towards children's. We're definitely going to have, it's going to be a family event, and we encourage everyone to come out. But when we have our fall flyer out, we'll also have a lineup of events for the birthday party. But some of the things that you can definitely look forward to, we're going to do a story time if it's nice. I thought we can do it outside in the courtyard, a birthday themed story time. We're going to have, I'm going to try to do something like every hour on the hour. So 11 o'clock, it'll be traditional party games. So we're going to play, I think it's going to be pin the logo on the Bethel Bakery hat.
Yes.
And we're going to play hot potato and musical chairs and just all those traditional party games. We're very lucky that WQED has agreed to come out and be part of the celebration, so they have something special planned for the noon hour. And this might not, you know, the order of events may change, but I know we're going to try to get a balloon artist here. We're going to have crafts all day long. We're going to have a cakewalk, a then and now presentation, which is really cool. I like this. We're going to put together, I don't know if we're going to do it like in game show format or just have a PowerPoint presentation, but we're going to talk about what things were like back in 1955 in comparison of how they are today. What was the library find back then, and what's the library find? And I don't know that that's changed all that.
It hasn't changed.
Because I think we're pretty reasonable. It's 10 cents a day for an overdue book. That's pretty good.
I do have some documentation, like some of our rules and regulations, and interesting to see, you know, like there was a limit on what you could take out, and we don't.
Now there's no limit.
It's unlimited. You can take whatever you want.
So that'll be really interesting. And then too, to tie the bakery in, what was a loaf of bread? What did it cost back in 1955? And what does it cost today? What was the shortbread cookie back in? Did they have the strawberry dip chocolate or shortbread cookie? I wonder.
I don't think they did. I think this is a special flavor to commemorate the birthday.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. Great.
Yes.
So a then and now presentation. So we'll have something literally all throughout the day, and again for all ages. So we're very excited about that, and that's going to be the last Saturday of the month. So I don't have it handy.
September
26th.
It's the 26th.
Literally all day. Library's open 9 to 5, so we'll be partying and celebrating 9 to 5.
And I'm working with Brugger's to get us bagels and coffee on the adult side, and there will be cake.
They are extremely generous.
They are.
They are one of our summer reading library sponsors this year, and they've been wonderful to work with.
Yes.
So shout out to Brugger's. Thank you. So what else is going on? We're actually late taping this July show, right? Because we've been so busy, like you mentioned earlier. We've just been a whirlwind up there, and I'm not saying that as a complaint because that's like my dream. Yes. We love to be that busy. So thanks for stopping in, and if you haven't, like Christine said, you can still register for children's summer reading as well. We have 2.5 weeks left, and you can definitely earn, you know, a couple bingos by then. So Stop in, pick up a summer reading packet, and start playing bingo. Still lots of prizes to give away. And then we have some programs that are still coming up for us too. Surprisingly, we don't have anybody registered yet for the talent show.
I knew that was going to happen.
It's disappointing that our patrons are being shy.
I knew that was going to happen. Haven't we tried this in the past?
Well,
Like a talent show?
When we did it with the past, that was just kids, and we had a good turnout. But I think maybe because we're...
we have shy adults in Bethel Park.
Yes, because we want this to be a family talent show, and we're not having too many families step up. So, of course, if we don't get at least 5, we're going to have to cancel. So please consider being part of our first ever family talent show on Friday, August 14th at 7 p.m. We are giving away some awesome prizes for first, second, and third place. And it'll just be a fun time to come out and meet other people and share your talents. It can be singing or dancing or magic or
juggling.
Maybe stand-up comedy. You can juggle. There's so many options. So think about it, please. August 14th, which is a Friday. And then coming up for our elementary age kids, we are hosting an American Girl movie night. The American Girl of the Year was Grace, and she is a baker and an entrepreneur. She started her own bakery business.
Well,
did you know that?
Apropos.
Yes, right. So we'll be showing that movie Grace on July 20th at 6:30 p.m. And speaking of American Girls, we have gained another American Girl doll to circulate. Julie is now part of our collection, so that makes 3 altogether that can be circulated, and they've been very popular, of course. We have Josephina that stays in the library for children to play with in our family place area, and then we have 3 that can be taken home for a week, promising that if you, of course, will take good care of them, which we know you will. We haven't had any issues thus far. Everyone's taking wonderful care of them. But let me just give you a kind of a peek inside of what each kit entails.
I have to say, I really enjoy with the American Girls that there's a little, I don't know what you call it, diary, a logbook,
yes.
So that each girl can say right in there what they did with the doll while she or he had them.
So this is Julie. Love her outfit, don't you?
Julie.
Love her hair. She is brand new. And Julie comes with, as they all do, the diary that Christine just mentioned, a pop-up bed, kind of cool.
My cat would be in that in a minute.
And the pop-up bed has a little bit a blanket. I'm not going to take everything out, obviously. We do ask that you sign a waiver form just to make sure everything does come back and intact. And if anything were missing, that you would be held responsible. But like I said, we haven't had any problems thus far. So we are happy to add Julie to our collection. The other 2 that circulate, Caroline and Rebecca. So those are the 3 that we have here at Bethel Park.
That's
if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call or to email us. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding American Girl. So what else? Let's talk about teens for a little bit, and I'm really happy with the response that we've gotten thus far with teens. We had about over 150 teens sign up. Of course, they too are encouraged to participate in the Family Talent Show. We have some other things coming up for them in August. On Thursday, August 6th at 7 p.m., Tim Hartman will be here to teach Cartooning 101. And Mr. Hartman has been here before, and he's a wonderful guy and a man of many talents. He is a storyteller, an artist, a stand-up comic, a puppeteer, as well as a cartoonist. And what's really neat about his program is he's going to incorporate all of those things into this class. So he'll use his storytelling technique as well as his comedy to teach the kids how to cartoon. So this is a don't miss event for sure. It's for grades 5 and up, and again, that's Thursday, August 6th at 7 p.m. The following week, on Monday, August 10th, Miss Jackie will be teaching Unmask Your Inner Artist, and this program will be an opportunity for you to learn more about Andy Warhol and his pop art technique. And so you will be creating a piece of art that you can take home with you as well. Again, grades 5 and up, and there's no registration necessary. For the Tim Hartman cartooning class, we are asking for registration just so we know how to set the room up for him and make sure we have enough supplies and tables and chairs and whatnot. So you can register for Tim's class beginning on August 1st. We also added, you will not see this in our summer flyer, but we added an event that I want to mention here on the show. On August 4th, we will be hosting a homeschool book swap. So this is a chance for any homeschool family out there to come to the library and kind of browse materials that other families have used and are finished using. And we encourage you too to bring any materials that you are no longer using. And it's just what the title implies, it's a swap. So it's you don't have to go and purchase those materials. They're going to be right here for you. And along with that, you'll probably gain some valuable advice, maybe meet some new families, and you guys can kind of just talk about what works and what doesn't work for you. So that's again on August 4th. And looking ahead into the fall, we are going to offer homeschool classes again. We're excited to be offering them once a month. And I do have the dates for those on September. They are all Thursdays. The dates are September 10th, October 8th, November 12th, and December 10th. So they're all Thursdays, like I said, and they'll be from 12 to 3. And we're going to offer a variety of classes for different age groups. Now in the past, we had them all lumped together. It was grades 1 through 4 or 1 through 5, and they all learned the same thing. And I think that's really difficult. You know, a fourth grader learns
very differently than a first grader.
Right. So we're going to offer different classes for different ages. And again, we'll have a flyer closer to the start of fall, and you can get that information. We'll also have it up online, of course.
I don't want to talk about fall. I want to talk about
summer. I know. And the beach.
Yes.
Are you going to the beach?
I'm going to the beach, but not till September. I wait till everyone goes back to school, so
That's
I have
smart.
the beach all to myself.
That is smart.
Yes. So what are you reading this summer?
So I just got back from the beach in Michigan. My sister lives right on Lake Michigan, and I had a wonderful time in St. Joe. And I brought a couple books with me, but the one that I was determined to finish first, and it's not exactly a beach read, but I was so into this book I had to finish it. It was American Sniper.
Yes.
And then while we were up there, we watched the movie. You know, and I like reading the young adult stuff, so I have a couple new titles for young adult that I'm reading. But American Sniper has been my latest, and it's my recommended read this summer. There's also a book that, again, it's not a beach read. It's a rather sad story, but it's a very inspiring story. So I'm encouraging everyone to read it. It's Glitter by Jennifer Anderson. And she actually grew up here in Pittsburgh. She went to Keystone Oaks, as a matter of fact. She now lives down in Florida. And it's just about her family's tragedy. They lost a daughter, but it's how they worked through it and how they grew and what they learned. And it's just very inspiring. I think every parent out there definitely needs to read it. Again, not exactly something maybe you want to take to the beach, but an outstanding read that I'm highly recommending. It's Glitter.
So that is something that we do in the library all day, every day, is recommend books for people and do kind of a little quick book recommendation. Yep. So some of you may know or may not know, but it's a good time to introduce. Elaine and I produce other shows for BPTV that are literary related. Elaine with the early childhood literacy, and I do kind of what we do every day in the library and do 1-minute book recommendations. So I just wanted to give you kind of a sample of what a 1-minute book recommendation is like when you're not standing in the library talking face to face to one of the librarians. And there's many others available on the BPTV YouTube channel and also on the library's YouTube channel. But a 1-minute book recommendation would go something like this. Today I want to talk about a book called Saint Maisie, written by Jamie Attenberg, published in 2015. This book is historical fiction set in the 20th century in New York City. It's loosely based on a real woman named Maisie Phillips, who was a Depression-era movie theater owner in New York City. She's described as big-hearted but risque. She was the jazz-age party girl, and kind of reminded me, what drew me to this book, the cover is fabulous. I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but the cover drew me in. And then the content, what the summary was about, reminded me of my great Aunt Marie, who was, you know, a trailblazer in her time. So Maisie owns this theater. She sits in the ticket booth and watches the world go by. And as a depression hits, she finds that many men and women are homeless, and she opens her theater to the downtrodden and tries to help them, you know, if they need a doctor's appointment or if they need, so she kind of becomes like a theater social worker in a way. Maisie was enough of a real neighborhood figure that she became the subject of a 1940s New Yorker profile written by journalist Joseph Mitchell. So the author of this novel takes the facts from that profile and creates this heartfelt story of poverty and loss and unconventionality. Again, that's when I think of my great Aunt Marie. So the book is told as a oral history rather than like a straight fiction narrative. Includes diary entries of Maisie's and also these fictional interviews from fictional characters that knew Maisie, whether they stayed in her theater when they had nowhere else to go or other business people in the neighborhood. So Attenberg creates this novel that really focuses on this complex and irresistible real-life woman. It's a pretty light read, even though it deals with some very dark subjects, the Depression and homelessness, and where am I going to get my next meal? And there was no health care. But it is, it's told. I could actually feel like I was there in that era, and I love that era, especially the Roaring 20s up until the Depression. So I would recommend that you pick up St. Maisie, written by Jamie Attenberg, at the library and take it to the beach with you. So
that was great. It worked because you made me want to read it. You piqued my interest.
Yes.
So
what do you want to tell our viewers about some of one of the shows that you produce?
So Missy Lane's Book Nook is usually, it's a story time that comes to you, in your home. A lot of people have likened it to Romper Room. In a way, it is. We bring story time to the kids who can't always get to the library as often as they'd like, but we hope by watching the Book Nook they will want to come to the library and check out some of the wonderful books that we have available. So usually my books are geared toward preschool, early elementary. I have one that I was going to share on today's show that really could be, I think, any age in elementary school. It's called Superhero School, and I chose this one because, of course, our summer reading theme this year is
Captain America.
Heroes. Yes, you wore your shirt, and I have my hero on as well. But this is by Aaron Reynolds, who was actually a runner-up for our Kids Pick contest 2 years ago. He wrote Creepy Carrots, which was a hit. The kids loved that. He came in second place, though, to The Day the Crayons Quit. So same author, and this is called Superhero School. So I'll read it to you. Leonard was the only kid on his Little League team who could hit a baseball into orbit. He was the only kid in his class who had clobbered a giant lava monster. He was the only kid on his block who welded the Bay City Bridge back together using heat vision. So when his mom told him he was going to a special school, he saw it coming a trillion billion light years away. Leonard couldn't wait for Superhero School to start. He was fired up to leap tall buildings in a single bound. He was super pumped to bend steel beams with his bare hands. He was revved up and raring to go to stop speeding runaway trains. Monday at Superhero School, Leonard met his new teacher, the Blue Tornado. But instead of learning how to leap tall buildings, Leonard's class wrestled the times tables. "I'm sure I'll be too busy destroying alien death rays to ever worry about multiplication," suggested Leonard. Mr. Tornado just chuckled. This was very troubling. Tuesday at Superhero School, Leonard was fitted for his superhero uniform. It had a cape and everything. But instead of learning how to bend steel beams with bare hands, the class battled division. Leonard tried to distract his teacher with an in-depth discussion about vanquishing evil robots, but Mr. Tornado still assigned 25 division problems for homework. This was very disappointing. Not exactly what Leonard had in mind.
Not at all.
Wednesday at Superhero School, Leonard's class inspected Mr. Tornado's Vortex Mobile. It was fully loaded with front-mounted shrink ray, submarine transformation capability, and a coat of invisibility wax. All the best options. But instead of learning how to stop a speeding runaway train, Leonard's class conquered fractions. "I just love fractions," said Mr. Tornado. Mr. Tornado was starting to annoy Leonard. Thursday was the same. No lessons in throwing stray missiles into outer space. No field trips to freeze an erupting volcano using only Arctic breath. No classes on overthrowing supervillains and mad scientists. Leonard was getting sick of Superhero School. So when the ice zombies struck, Leonard never saw them coming. On Friday, when the class arrived at school, the signs of a frosty struggle were everywhere. Icicles, snowballs, empty Slurpee cups, and a note. "Dear superhero students, have kidnapped the teachers. Taking over the world, school canceled. Best wishes, the ice zombies. The class sprang into action quicker than a swarm of evil ninja grasshoppers. But Leonard and Sarah were the only kids who could fly. The class was pretty heavy, so they split in exactly one half. I'll take the girls, Sarah barked. I'm not touching the boys. Sarah could sometimes get super bossy, but even among superheroes, cuties had to be considered. The class zoomed straight into the Arctic Circle in no time flat. Arriving at the zombies' lair, Leonard's class discovered a huge frozen wall 15 feet thick. Thank goodness for heat vision. But Leonard's eyes could blast through only 5 feet of ice. Not nearly enough. Luckily, Jack and Maggie had heat vision too. Fire up those eyeballs, said Leonard. Wait, said Jack. I need to take off my new glasses. With Jack's heat-proof titanium glasses safely in their little plastic case, the three gave the icy wall their full focus. With 3 times the heat, melt! They blazed an entrance in no time. I think they're going to save the day.
I think so. With fractions of
Mm-hmm.
that.
On the other side of the wall, the ice zombies were fired up and ready to rumble. There are too many of them, cried Jack. Too many zombies! Leonard counted quickly. There are only 20. We can take them. We just need super strength, shouted Sarah. Who's got it? Leonard, Sarah, Diego, Richie, and Kim all raised their hands. 5 super strong students. No sweat. Leonard quickly divided the zombies between them. That's 4 apiece, shouted Leonard. Attack! And that's when Richie Zielinski got stung by a bee. Huh, good old Richie. Super strong and super allergic. Leonard quickly recalculated. That's 5 apiece, shouted Leonard. Attack! While Richie took his allergy medication and breathed deep, cleansing breaths, the other 4 kicked the ice cubes out of the 5 zombies each. A cheer went up across the zombie-infested wasteland. The teachers were saved, and they had suffered almost no freezer burn. Almost. The class soared back to school, teachers in tow, just before the last bell rang. But instead of thanking them for saving his life from certain doom, Mr. Tornado just said, "Well done, class. An A+ on the math quiz." Math quiz? And then it hit Leonard like a giant mutant octopus. Splitting the class in half, fractions, heat vision times 3, multiplication, ice zombies divided by 5 students, division. It was an evil trick, but Leonard went home for the weekend oddly super satisfied. After that, multiplication was less troubling, division was less disappointing, fractions were less annoying, and once in a while, Leonard's class got to leap tall buildings and bend steel beams. Leonard had to admit, superhero school was pretty super after all. Besides, Leonard could always stop speeding runaway trains on Saturday. The end. So, like the message there, the little lesson learned, right? Everybody needs math.
Yes,
School is important.
Yes, it is.
So math, in this case, helped Leonard and his friends save the day. So as always, if you want more information on any of the things that we talked about on today's show, please feel free to give us a call.
Or visit our website.
Or better yet, stop in and see us in person. See you next month.
Bye.